What's up? Happy Monday. Welcome to another edition of 3 Point Stands presented by Mountain Dew, Meghan, Triplett, John Roser here with you to talk about the weekend that was. Roser, let's start first and get our stances on the WNBA Semifinals. It tipped off on Sunday with two games, an amazing games that came down to the wire. Let's start with the first one, the Aces and the Storm. There's so much built in the storyline, Roser. We already have 7 former number 1 overall draft picks playing in this game. We know the Sue Bird aspect of it, but this game came down to the wire where Kelsey Plum had a chance to tie it up at the end there, got a good look, but didn't go in. But the game of the night, the people who played tonight was Jewel Lloyd, Brianna Stewart, Sue Bird. The Storm they put out their best game plan against the Aces, and they were running up and down the court for the Aces. Aces were still involved in this game. They still made it look as if they were super, super close, but it felt as if the momentum was always going to go the Storm's way. But this is building up for what I believe. I really pray that it gets to 5 games. Roser, I need 5 games of Storm.
5 games. We need a 5-game series.
Yes, and
a decisive and deciding game 5.
And Roser, here's the thing. I know you like Vegas. I don't know how we didn't get to do. We should be in Vegas for this game. I feel like GCM should have taken a Vegas trip just for Storm Aces.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And we have our Caesar Sportsbook sponsorship now too. They could have put us up in the villa that The Hangover. You know the movie The Hangover? Yeah, they stayed at sea. We could have been in that villa. Yeah. We
could have relived it all. Relived it all. So we had a chance to go to Vegas. We could have gone to Chicago too, which I know you like Chicago as well. We spent All-Star there just 2 years ago, but that also was a great game between the Sky and the Sun. The Sun have not beat the Sky at all this regular season. 4 games they have not won. Chicago Sky have always beaten them, and the difference maker was an average of like a 4 to 5 point win always. And so it was a very close game, and we were built up for an epic moment, epic performance by Candace Parker. She had 19 points, 18 rebounds, 5 assists, added 6 blocks onto that, but wasn't enough for the Sun. Connecticut gets their first win against Chicago. Chicago knocked them out last year in the WNBA playoffs. They got revenge, and Connecticut looked good. I mean, I think Chicago Sky is that team that I think is going to surprise us. They lost game 1 in the last round. They lose this one, and they had a moment where no one wanted to give the ball up. It was where the refs had to call a double technical. Give me 5 games of this too. Please give me 5 games of this. I want it.
Yes, let's do it. I'm all for the series, unless they're my own team and I want my team to sweep always. But other than that, I am all for playoff series in any sport going as long as they possibly can. Right. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get game 5. Make it happen. Let's get 5 games. Yes.
All right, Roser, you know what this week is.
College football, for real starts. I know it started this past weekend, but there weren't. I mean, the big game was Northwestern and Nebraska, which I called. I mean, if you tune into
did you predict that Nebraska was going to get a lead and go up and lose and go do an onside kick in the 3rd quarter?
Well, I can't predict every play that happens, but if you go, we put the clip out viral, and I said we're taking Northwestern plus the 13. I said, and if you want.
Okay.
Sprinkle a little bit on that Northwestern money line. Sprinkle a little bit on that Northwestern money line. And if you look at the graphic of my odds couple picks, I gave you 5 winners. 5-0. 5-0. All of them. Okay. Vanderbilt covered. UConn covered. Illinois covered the first half. Illinois covered the game. And Northwestern covered.
Okay, so since you're the smart one, have you figured out what this week will look like? Because you have some even bigger.
I haven't really dove into it yet, but I will say the game I am most looking forward to, that I'm most interested in, is and it's the one nobody's really talking about. They're not talking about it that much, but it is 2 big teams, and one of them is not ranked, and the other one is ranked in the top 10. Okay. And you would think it would be the other way around, of which is unranked Florida is hosting 7th-ranked Utah. Now, normally when you think college football, you would think Florida would be the team ranked 7th, right? Yeah, but that's not the case. But Anthony Richardson, the kid's got all the talent in the world, the quarterback for Florida. We'll see Billy Napier taking over the head coaching job at Florida after being very successful at Louisiana. Utah, look, Kyle Whittingham's got a great program there, and they're always a solid team. But this one, to me, is more interesting than Ohio State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Oregon. There's Cincinnati, Arkansas. There's Memphis, Mississippi State. but this one is because Utah's traveling to Gainesville, and there is one thing that this Utah, one thing you cannot prepare for when you're Utah is how freaking hot it's going to be in the swamp. Like, it's going to be 90 degrees and humid as hell in there. And that is not something you can practice when you are in Salt Lake City. It is a different kind of heat that they're going to be dealing with. And I think it's also a little bit of, for me, the unknown of Florida and how are they going to look. They do have depth issues, but that Richardson kid has a ton of talent, that quarterback does. And if your quarterback is really good, it makes up for everything else.
I'm surprised you didn't say Notre Dame, Ohio State. That's really where I thought you were going until you said one unranked.
I do love the Buckeyes. You know, I love the Buckeyes. I think they're incredibly talented. It is interesting to me. I mean, the game is interesting. The point spread is just so freaking big. It's like 17 and a half. Like, and I'm like, God, why is that? You're two top 5 teams in the home team favored by 17 and a half, whereas the Florida thing, it's only a 2.5 point spread. So even with Utah being ranked seventh in the country, they're only a 2.5 point favorite over an unranked Florida team, which tells me there is some little bit of respect for Florida. So we'll see. But that Florida-Utah game is what I think I'm most interested in, outside of Memphis, Mississippi State. You know.
Yeah. See, I'm going to say Notre, maybe because of like all the conference realignment talk that we've had during this offseason. I was going to say just because of like Notre Dame, Ohio State, the Big Ten conversation of what could happen with Notre Dame, where that could be, and then also you got Oregon and Georgia taking on each other. Anytime you get to see the defending champs, it's their first game since the last game you saw them. They're holding up rings. I'm sure there'll be a lot of rings and celebrations of what they did.
Well, there's another storyline there. We're going to tie this into Memphis. The head coach at Oregon is Dan Lanning, who has been the defensive coordinator at Georgia, and who was Mike Norvell's defensive coordinator when he was head coach at Memphis.
Ooh, see,
Norvell first got here,
another game to look forward to as well. So college football is back. It is week 1. I know it was also a big week in golf, and I'm not talking about all the storylines about what's happening with PGA and Live, but
Rory McIlroy won the FedEx Cup. Scotty Scheffler's pretty much been the number 1 ranked player in the world like all year. And he had a 2-shot lead. So he started this weekend at East Lake in Atlanta with a 2-shot lead. And Rory McIlroy ends up winning by 1 shot. Rory McIlroy takes home his 3rd FedEx Cup title, the first player to win 3 of them. And I think he takes home like $18 million. It does unfortunately now change to, the PGA announced their monetary changes for next year and how the purses are going to be more and more, and players are going to be able to make way more money, which is totally a reactionary thing to live when it's like, you could have just done this to begin with and avoided all of this.
I was going to say,
what done it to begin with and avoided all of it, but instead you're being reactionary to it. So
give me an extra stance here. What do you think about the PGA and this new event? The money is great, but even like the new event that they are initiating, putting out.
I mean, we'll see. I'll watch it, but I don't like the virtual thing they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Tiger and Rory. I don't know. I mean, I'll watch, I guess, the first one, but I'm one of those. I don't watch like a ton of golf. I keep up with it, but like I watch the majors and I watch our tournament and I watched a little bit this weekend of the championship in Atlanta. And that's really all I watch.
Have you watched Live yet at all?
I've seen a little bit of it on YouTube, but not really. Like, honestly, like that, when the stakes are not like that high, I don't really care. I'm like a lot of people. I'm like most French golf fans. So,
there's a lot.
But it now turns to who's going to leave. Hideki Matsuyama has said he's going to stay on the PGA Tour. That's big. That's massive for the PGA Tour, especially because of all the fans that he has in Japan. It appears Cameron Smith is going to go to Live. It's been talked about forever, but I mean, the Cam Smith thing hurts because he is young and he is.
And Varner's going as well. Drama. That's what I love. And so that's all the time we have for this edition of 3 Point Stands presented by Mountain Dew. We'll see you next week.